If you are required to work from home as part of your employment, and it must be more than simply checking your emails, then you may be eligible to claim a work from home tax deduction. It's good to keep a diary or a calendar to substantiate your work from home tax deductions. And some of the things that you can claim, which I'll list off, are electricity or gas, home and mobile internet data, mobile and home phone expenses, stationery and office supplies, and a decline in value on things like office furniture, desks, computers, chairs, those sorts of things. And there are two methods you can use to calculate your deduction. As the name suggests, your actual cost method is based on the actual costs in working from home. It's a little bit complex to work out. You're supposed to work out how much energy your appliances use from the manufacturer, and then multiply that by your cost for energy based on your energy bills. So quite detailed, very painful. Other things that you can claim are things like depreciation on your office equipment, or if that office equipment is under $300, you can claim an immediate tax deduction for that, provided it's not for personal use, like gaming, those sorts of things. For your phone, data, and internet, you need to work out what your work percentage is over a 4-week period. Then you can use that work-related percentage to claim a tax deduction over the year. You can claim things like stationery and other consumables. And as with all tax deductions, you need to have proof that you've incurred the expenditure. So things like receipts, things like diaries to show how many hours you work from home, that sort of thing. If your job is very intensely working from home, then it may pay to take the time to work through all these calculations to see what sort of deduction you have available. And you generally must have a dedicated workspace where you've incurred additional costs for having that workspace. So just working from home in your lounge room while your family's watching TV technically doesn't incur additional expenses because you're using the electricity anyway. Now I'll talk through the second method, which is much easier, in a moment, but some of the things that you cannot claim when working from home are things like tea and coffee, things like your child's education expenses, like their iPads, those sorts of things, any items your employer has provided to you to work from home, or any expenses where you've actually been reimbursed by your employer. And whatever you do, make sure you don't do what this company director did.
Company director claimed their treadmill, juicer, coffee machine, I think their gaming console, and a bunch of other stuff as working from home expenses. Now, in both of those, they're private in nature and you can't claim them on your tax return.
Now, the second method, if you couldn't be bothered with all the admin, is called the fixed rate method. Under this method, you don't need a dedicated workspace and you can claim a fixed rate per hour that you work from home during the year. So under this method, you can't claim things like your mobile phone, your internet, and your electricity. This fixed rate covers all those things. And the rate for 2025 is 70 cents per hour that you worked from home. So you need to have diaries and calendars to substantiate the hours that you work from home. But what this rate doesn't include, so what you can claim in addition to the 70 cents, are things like depreciation on your home office equipment. Again, if it's over $300, you need to depreciate that over a number of years. You may need to apportion that between any personal use, if you're gaming, things like that, and any business use. Or if it's under $300, you may be able to claim an immediate tax deduction. Things like keyboards, monitors, chairs, those sorts of things. Now, under both methods, as you're an employee working from home, you generally cannot claim occupancy expenses, things like interest, land tax, those sorts of things. Those sorts of things can only be claimed if you're running a business from home, which I'll discuss in a separate video. Now, the next video in the series can be found right here. Keep in mind, I'm not a licensed tax advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, based on publicly available information. I've just packaged that information in an easy, digestible way for you. See you in the next video.